You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Oh, yes, you can. You can handle the truth. And I want to thank Mr. T once again for all the great intros, outros, converters, and bumpers and everything else. Thank you, Mr. T. Now, on to this, folks, how it works. A great many of Americans, and I think people around the world are going like, what happened? We had peace, we had prosperity, then we had cerveza bug. Now we've got this. How does it work? What is going on, folks? Right now, well, let's take a look at Russia and Ukraine. Right now, Russia is attacking, laying siege to Ukrainian seaports as the second round of ceasefire talks begin. Ceasefire is kind of like a peace accord, an armistice, an end of violence, if you will. But while they're getting ready to talk about peace, Russia's like, we're going to bomb the shit out of you. We're going to attack you. Folks, in a civilized war, this is how it's done. In a civilized war, this is how it's done. You attack and destroy the enemy while simultaneously having peace talks and telling them, please surrender. Peace talk table. Every day, a surrender is postponed. More destruction, folks, happens. It ensues. And more people die every day. So you're trying to get someone to come to the table and agree to the terms of the peace. Now, the person who's getting their ass kicked doesn't get to dictate terms of peace. That goes to the one who is winning. In this case, Russia. Russia's attacking, messing up, slapping around Ukraine, saying, come to the peace table, agree to what we have to say. Right? Now, they did have the Donbass peace agreement that they were going by until Russia decided to roll on in. Why would Russia say we've got a peace accord and we're abiding by it and then not rolling in? Could it be that someone was lipping off, making threats? Could it be that someone was trying to get NATO on board and come into Ukraine? And Russia's like, no, that's not part of the Donbass peace agreement. You violated it. We're rolling in. Now we're bitch slapping you around and saying, come to the table, because every day you don't, we're going to mess things up. Folks, that is how it's done. This, by the way, is what Air Faucister, Gigi Biden, Schwab, and all the Davos boys, this is what they're doing to us, me and you. They destroyed our normal, folks, and told us to accept the new normal or keep being punished with daily brutal restrictions and monthly punishments and demands, right? Because they're the government. They have authority and power, and they will do whatever they want. And that's what they've done, folks. Literally, that's what they've done. That's what the Davos boys, Klaus Schwab, that's what Biden, that's what these world leaders, Dr. Doom, the booster rooster. It's always do what we say because we're dominating and winning in this war. So what is it? It's a war against freedom, against you and me, the Constitution, our children, grandchildren. Folks, so if we're having a civilized war, a civilized takeover, in the civilized sense, the trucker convoy is the people's diplomatic envoy, unofficial, sent to deliver the unofficial terms of our kiss our butts agreement. We want our freedom back. Now, let's switch gears a little bit. Down near the U.S. border with Mexico, bone fragments and incinerated human remains have been found. Used to be called a killing field. Some might say a mass grave. If you didn't know any better, you would say there was a mass murderer living there, except It's drug cartels, human traffickers for human prostitutes, right? What they found is another cartel extermination site. It's been revealed now near the southern border in Mexico after these remains have been found. This is according to the Associated Press. It's not conspiracy. It's not some back page. It's not some dude who found a leg bone of a coyote and held it up and said, oh my God, human remains. No. Associated Press, right? Mainstream media admits this. Now, as drug and slavery cartels and local gangs take control of cities in extreme SHTF, should the worst of our SHTF fears come to pass, this is the reality they pose. Executions and shallow graves. Doing it, executing people, incinerating them, getting rid of them, is expedient for the cartel's desires and serves as a reminder to their slave population, that is, anyone who lives within their area is their slave. They may walk around and act free and do things and conduct business and grow food and whatever, but ultimately, if the cartel wants them, the cartel takes them. Sounds like government, doesn't it? In a civilized sense, people are upfront and say, okay, we're coming to terms, like Putin, come to the table and we'll quit bombing you. Come to the table, we'll quit attacking. Come to the table and we will leave once we agree to the terms. With the cartel, they are not civilized. Right? They're not civilized. They'll just kill you. Because disobedience will not be tolerated. That's SHTF max, Mad Max, extreme. Oh, look how far we've come since the Civil War, folks. Yes, yes. Slavery, beatings, whippings, and executions without a crime. Just plain old I'm in charge, obey or die is what the cartels say. It's kind of like what governors have been saying with regard to cerveza bug. Obey us or we're punishing you. Disobedience won't be tolerated. The sound of warlords like the cartel just slaughtering everyone they come across that they need to. They're the same as the Nazis and the communists and the American socialists in DC. The only thing that we have that is holding them back, the only thing we have is we have guns and lots of them and training and an education and understanding in our Constitution, our God-given rights, the Declaration of Independence. That is what is separating us Americans from the people of Australia who have now been overrun, people of New Zealand who have been overrun by their socialist lords, who have moved into an uncivilized state with their own people. They're not coming and saying, hey, look, we just want to change the Constitution around. We want to take all your rights, agree to it, or we'll kill you. They're not civilized or open about it. They're sneaky. They're like, oh, no, we're operating within the rules. There's special emergency rules that we have just to put you down and keep you down. That's really what they're doing. That's really what this is about. Control and destruction. But they're doing it underhanded. They aren't being honest about it. They're not being civilized. I understand violence is part of civilization. I understand violence is a problem with humanity. It's always been violent. But who is violent, folks? Is it you and me? No, we're good citizens. We pay our taxes. We obey the law, the real law. We treat others as we would want to be treated. We help others in need. We support causes we like and believe in. It is unlawful government that says we're going to punish you. It is terrifying despots and tyrants that will just kill people and roll over the top of them and say any disobedience is a death penalty. Folks, Putin isn't doing that. He's going after government sites, military sites, and he's saying, look, come to the table and talk about peace, how to behave in a moral fashion, Ukrainian government, and stop threatening everyone with NATO moving right next door. Now, am I pro-Russia? No, I'm pro-freedom. I'm pro-liberty. I'm pro-openness and honesty. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Are you prepared? We could go from SHTF light, which is the government pretending to be lawful, or we could go SHTF nasty, where we've got gangs, drug lords, local governments out of control, and even war on a much wider, larger, and punitive scale. Get prepared, and then show up this afternoon for the monologue and Q&A, question and answer. We got a lot going on. I want to hear what you have to think. Today, as you go through things, write down a question. Tell me what's important to you this afternoon at the next meeting. On Patreon, every day, Monday through Friday, we do Q&A, question and answer, especially at times, when we've got near World War III conditions, threats of nuclear annihilation. Oh yeah, folks, it's a freaking mess. Get prepared. Oh, yeah. Semper Fi and Godspeed to you.